Real English Talk.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Real English Talk, the podcast where two friends have real, natural conversations in everyday English. I'm Tom.
And I'm Jessica. Tom, picture this. You're at a party. You don't know many people. Someone comes and stands next to you. Total silence. What do you do?
Honestly, I probably pretend to check my phone and hope they talk to me first.
Which is exactly why we're talking about small talk today. Because that moment, that awkward silence with a stranger, is something almost everyone finds uncomfortable. And yet it's one of the most important social skills you can have.
Today we're covering everything. Why small talk feels awkward, how to start conversations with strangers, what topics work and what to avoid, and how to move from small talk to real meaningful conversation.
Whether you're an introvert who dreads networking events or someone who just wants to sound more natural in English, this one is for you. Let's get into it.
So let's start with the big question. Why do so many people find small talk so painful? Because intellectually, we know it's just like conversation, but in the moment, it can feel genuinely terrifying.
I think there are a few reasons. 1. The stakes feel high even when they're low. You're worried about being judged, saying something stupid, or just running out of things to say after 30 seconds.
The 30-second wall. You ask, how are you? They say, good. You say good, and then nothing. Complete silence. And it's mortifying.
That's the classic small talk trap. You go through the motions but don't actually connect. And it feels pointless, which makes people think they're bad at small talk when actually they're just using the wrong approach.
Are you naturally good at small talk, Jessica?
I am now, but I wasn't always. In my early 20s, I was quite shy in social situations. I'd arrive at a party and immediately find the person I knew and stick to them like glue for the entire evening.
I relate to that so much. The find your safe person and don't leave their side strategy. Very common, not very effective for meeting new people.
Not at all. What changed for me was realizing that most people are just as nervous as you are. That stranger standing alone, they're probably hoping someone will come and talk to them too. When you approach someone, you're often doing them a favor.
That reframe is genuinely helpful. You're not interrupting someone, you're rescuing them from an awkward silence.
Exactly. And once I started thinking about it that way, approaching strangers felt much less scary. I was breaking the ice for both of us, not just for me.
Do you think there's a cultural element too? Because in some cultures, talking to strangers is completely normal. In others, it's almost considered rude to approach someone you don't know.
Absolutely. In the US, small talk with strangers is very normal. In a shop, on public transport, waiting in line. In some other cultures, that would seem strange or intrusive. So, part of learning English is learning the cultural context around when small talk is expected.
Which is exactly why this topic matters for English learners specifically. It's not just about the words. It's about knowing when and how to use them. Okay, let's get practical. How do you actually start a conversation with someone you don't know? What are the best openers?
The easiest way is to comment on something you both share in that moment. Your environment, the event you're both at, something happening around you. It's immediate, it's relevant, and it gives the other person something easy to respond to.
So instead of the dreaded, so, what do? You might say something like, have you tried the food here? It's incredible. Or how do you know the host?
Exactly. How do you know the host is actually one of the best party openers because it immediately gives you context about the person and usually leads somewhere interesting.
What about in more formal settings, like a work conference or a networking event?
What brings you to this event? Works really well. Or have you been to this conference before? It's open-ended, professional, and shows genuine interest without being too personal.
And then once you've started, how do you keep the conversation going? Because that's where I always struggle. I can start it, but then it dies after a minute.
The secret is follow-up questions. Most people make the mistake of asking a question, getting an answer, and then just stopping. Instead, dig one level deeper. If someone says, I work in marketing, don't just nod. Ask, what kind of marketing? What do you enjoy most about it?
So you're treating every answer as a door that opens onto another question.
Exactly. And the other thing is, don't be afraid to share something about yourself too. Conversation is a two-way street. If you only ask questions and never offer anything, it starts to feel like an interview rather than a conversation.
The interview feeling's the worst. You can tell when someone is just firing questions at you without actually listening to the answers.
Right. Good small talk feels like a tennis match. Back and forth, both players engaged. Bad small talk feels like one person serving and the other just watching the ball go past.
I love that analogy. Tennis, not a monologue.
And the most important skill of all, actually listen. Not just waiting for your turn to speak, but genuinely absorbing what the other person is saying. People can feel the difference immediately, and real listening is the fastest way to make someone feel valued.
Let's talk about what to actually talk about, because not all topics are created equal when it comes to small talk. Some are universal icebreakers. Others can kill a conversation in seconds.
Classic safe topics: travel, food, films and TV shows, weekend plans, local events, the weather. These work because almost everyone has something to say about them, and they're unlikely to cause offense.
People always make fun of talking about the weather, but it genuinely works. Can you believe how hot it's been this week? Instant common ground. Everyone's experienced the same weather.
And it's not really about the weather. It's about establishing that you're both friendly and open to talking. The content is almost secondary.
What about topics to avoid in small talk?
The classic ones: politics, religion, money, and relationship status. These are topics where people have strong personal views and where it's very easy to accidentally offend someone or make them uncomfortable.
I once had someone ask me how much I earned within about 2 minutes of meeting them. At a casual dinner party, it was so jarring.
That's such a violation of small talk etiquette. Personal financial questions, asking about someone's age, weight, relationship status. These are all things that can make people feel put on the spot.
What about compliments as conversation starters? I feel like those can go really well or really awkwardly, depending on how you do it.
Compliments work brilliantly when they're genuine and specific, and when they're about something the person has chosen, like their outfit, their bag, something they've said. I love your jacket. Where did you get it? Is a great opener. It's specific, genuine, and easy to respond to.
As opposed to commenting on someone's appearance in a way that might make them uncomfortable.
Exactly. Compliment the choices, not the physical attributes. It's warmer, it's safer, and it leads to better conversation.
What about humor? Because I feel like a well-timed joke can totally transform a conversation, but a badly timed one can make things 10 times more awkward.
Humor is high risk, high reward in small talk. Self-deprecating humor, making fun of yourself gently, is usually the safest because it doesn't risk offending anyone else. Something like, I'm terrible with names. I've already forgotten yours and we've been talking for 5 minutes, gets a laugh and takes the pressure off.
That's actually a genius move because it's relatable. Everyone has forgotten someone's name. You're not alone in that. Okay, final topic, because I think one of the frustrations people have with small talk is that it can feel shallow. How do you move from surface-level chat to a real, meaningful conversation?
Small talk is the bridge, not the destination. Its job is to establish that you're both safe, friendly people worth talking to. Once that's established, you can start going deeper.
How do you make that transition without it feeling forced?
The key is to follow the energy. If someone gives you a short, polite answer, they probably want to keep things light. But if they elaborate, add details, ask things back, that's a signal they're open to going deeper. You follow their lead.
And when someone does go deeper, how do you meet them there?
Share something real about yourself in return, not oversharing, but something genuine. If someone mentions they've been feeling stressed at work, you don't just say, "Oh, that's tough." You say, "I know that feeling. I went through something similar last year. What's been the hardest part for you?
You're validating their experience and then inviting them to go further.
Exactly. And I think the most powerful thing you can do in any conversation is make the other person feel genuinely heard. Not just listened to, heard. There's a difference.
What is the difference?
Listening is receiving the words. Being heard is feeling like those words actually landed, that the other person understood not just what you said, but what you meant. That requires attention, empathy, and real engagement.
That's a really profound distinction. And I think it explains why some conversations feel energizing and others feel draining. It's about whether you feel heard or just processed.
Perfectly put. And here's the beautiful thing about getting good at small talk. It's not really about small talk at all. It's about becoming someone who makes other people feel comfortable, valued, and seen. That's a skill that changes every relationship in your life.
Small talk is a gateway to genuine human connection. I never thought about it that way before this conversation.
Most people just scratch the surface of what small talk can do. When you get good at it, it opens doors. Professionally, socially, in every area of life.
All right, everyone, that is a wrap on today's episode. We want to hear from you.
Are you good at small talk, or does it make you want to hide behind your phone? Let us know in the comments. We read every single one.
And if this episode helped you, share it with someone who needs it. Until next week, I'm Tom.
And I'm Jessica. See you next time on Real English Talk.